Hi, it's Dodie from JD Heirloom Seeds and Freshies Farms. We're standing here on the Adobe soil, and I want to show you guys just a couple tips that we've learned over the years on growing in Adobe soil. Many of you in Western Colorado and throughout the state have a big problem with what do we do with all this alkali and this Adobe soil. So I'm going to take you through just a 3-year process of how we transform our soil, and it starts over here in the cabbage patch. Now cabbages, broccolis, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, that kind of thing, all your brassicas, they do not require mycorrhizae fungi around the roots, which mycorrhizae fungi is a fungus that lives in a symbiotic relationship with the roots, and it allows them to unlock all of your micronutrients and all of your nutrients in the soils. And 94% of plant life on this earth requires mycorrhizae fungi around its roots, but brassicas are the one thing that don't. So in this Adobe soil, oftentimes a lot of the roots get all locked up and bound up by all the alkali. Now mycorrhizae fungi allows them to unlock all of that. It kind of unbinds all the alkali and the heaviness that the clay, the oppression of the just packness of the clay and the lack of oxygen in that soil provides. So over here in the first year of gardening, we like to plant our brassicas because they don't require as much of that drainage, as much of that fungus life around their roots. So in the first year we plant our brassicas here, and we like to dig a nice size hole for each one of them and fill it with manure. So this basically gets the soil turned, it gets living roots in it, and it gets your manure that starts to bring in that fungus life into your garden. And then the next patch over here, I'm going to take you to what we like to do the next year. Now, one of the things in this clay soil that you're going to have a problem with is drainage. And so we like to make mounds. And I'm just going to kind of show you guys how we do those mounds. Right here you can see we have a nice wheelbarrow full of manure. We're using an alpaca manure today. It is kind of along the lines of rabbit manure and the animals with pelleted feces here. And so this is a manure that doesn't burn the roots. We like it because you actually don't even have to break it down to use it. Now, horse manure, cow manure, it's good to let it age, and we use plenty of that in our garden as well. But since we didn't have time this spring to heap up horse and cow manure, we're using an alpaca so we don't have to age it for at least 1 year. So we like to use manure. That is what really transforms this Adobe clay soil, manure and mounds. And so these mounds basically elevate the soil a little bit below the surface or above the surface so that it provides that adequate drainage. Now last year we had our brassicas in this is about a second year soil. So we like to do our brassicas in the first year, and things like potatoes and onions and things that you can hill in the second year, because this soil, as you can see, the color of it's already changed tremendously from just 1 year of adding manure and having living roots in it. So in the second year you make these mounds and you add more manure and you're allowing for the adequate drainage, and that then we just go along in how we move down the field into the soil. So what we have done here is we just go along with a shovel. We scoop the soil on both sides of the mound, and it kind of gets it nice and tall. Now you can see some of the finished product here with the mounds, and that's all I'm doing. I'm scooping all of the clumps, kind of get to the top. All of your clay clumps are going to be in this mound. And then when you start, I just like to drag the rake along the top, and what it's doing, you can see all of the crumbles are falling to the side. So now you're really fine, and just, I guess this is going to be the less clay in this mound because all of the little clods fall to the side. And so I just go down this mound and do that. And also any grass or weeds that have gotten turned up into this mound also fall to the sides. So it's like a sifting method for this mound, and that is how we like to construct our beds.